Welcome to our live streams. This is where the grown-ups trade. No hype, no flexing, no TikTok guru nonsense. Just focus, discipline, and respect for the craft. Here we trade gold, the oldest store of value on Earth, at the precision scalping level. That's where trading gets real. Where a single tick too early or too late decides everything. It's the hardest style of trading there is. And the highest form, too, because it demands mastery of mind, structure, and emotion. Execution over ego. Reaction over prediction. Can it be the most lucrative? Yes, but only for those who earn it. There are no shortcuts here. You can't fake discipline at 10-second speed. Most gurus out there sell you dreams from their demo accounts. We build traders who can survive the market on their own terms. We don't promise easy wins. We teach you how to build a system that doesn't break when you do. If you're here, you already know what that takes. Courage, grit, gumption, the willingness to get punched in the face by uncertainty and still show up tomorrow with your rules intact. Because precision scalping isn't just a trading style, it's a mirror. It shows you who you are under pressure, and it forces you to get better, not just as a trader, but as a person. The focus you build here, the emotional control, the ability to act without hesitation, those are life skills. They translate everywhere. So welcome to the Barcelona Trader, where we practice the hardest craft in markets and one of the most rewarding in life. Let's get to work.
All right, here we are. It is April 26th. It is 7:44 p.m. in New York, and we are here to trade the Sunday Asia opening range. All right. Love that beautiful music there by Mannheim Steamroller and their album Fresh Air from 1979. Probably before a lot of your times. All right, let me light my superstition candle over here. Boom. I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. All right, let's see what we're looking at here. This is the 5-minute spot gold chart. I have already put price in a box. You see this white rectangle right here that says Sunday Asia opening range. Sunday AOR, Asia opening range. That's right. Thank you, Mannheim Steamroller. Should we bring it down to some jazz in the background? Some binaural beats. Maybe we'll start off with a little jazz. How about that? Okay. So we've got the Sunday opening range right here. Price is currently within that range. It is at 46.79. Right above us, we have the WM2. And we also have the, I'm going to say it's the DM2. Yes. Right above us, we have the WM2 and the DM2. Meaning, since we opened, we have come down through the daily pivot point. We've come down through the fixed value area low, which was right here at 46.93, as if that didn't even exist, at least on the 5-minute chart. We'll see on a smaller time frame how it reacted. In fact, let's just go look at that now. Here's the 1-minute time frame. As we came down through the fixed value area low. No, that was in the initial drop. Okay, so when we came, when the market opened, price dropped like a rock. So there was a gap down, I guess you would say. I need to actually mark where the Sunday open was. So that is an area I like to keep track of on the chart. Sorry, I've got the camera from behind me right now. Just not looking my best. Haven't shaved. Decided I didn't want to be on camera. But you know, I'll get back to that tomorrow. I'll get up and well, maybe not by tomorrow morning. By tomorrow evening, I will be clean. I will be all cleaned up. All right, so we have price trying to come back up now, taking kind of that dead cat bounce that I thought it might take right after it bottomed out, but no, it waited a while, came down even further to about 46.75, and now we're coming back up to 46.82. So we've had, you know, seven pips of a rise over the last few minutes. All right, so this turquoise colored vertical line right here marks 6 p.m. in New York. That is the time the market opened. So you can see exactly what happened minute by minute. Stabled out here for a while, consolidated for a little bit. Now we've come down out of that consolidation zone. You might say that our opening range was actually this area up here, but you know, our session doesn't officially start until 8 p.m. New York time, and so, you know, I kind of like to draw the range at where we were when we start our session, more or less. But if it does end up just being a failed breakout to the bottom and it comes back up into the previous range, then I might change the range to show it as a failed breakout rather than as you know, a short-lived range in the first place. All right, we'll see how that evolves. Right now, gold is significantly weaker than the dollar. We'll see if we keep coming down or if things have stabilized for this session. And the only interesting move was happening right there at the beginning of the at the very beginning of the market opening. Let me know in the chat if the music is too loud. Are we looking for a buy or a sell? Well, right now, I'm not looking for I'm not looking for either. Right now, I would say I'm trying to get a feel for how the market is moving. If it suddenly takes off in one direction or another, I probably would just let it go at this point because I just got here. I want to get a feel for what the market is doing. I'm looking around, I'm looking here at MT4, and I look at this chart right here. This is a 15-minute traditional Japanese candlestick chart. There, I've made it big. You can see we're hitting right here. We're hitting a big, let's see if I can, right there where my cursor is, where that arrow is, hitting a big support zone right here. You see that over here, when we hit that support zone the last time, price just really took off, just ripped in this other direction here. So sellers who were selling, when they get down to this level, they start thinking, well, we don't want to tangle with an aggressive buyer that's obviously at this level. So we're going to start getting out of our trades, which already then starts the reversal. And then if that aggressive buyer is still there, he can take those buys and drive the price right back up again. But we don't know if that's going to happen or if there's enough selling pressure to keep pushing it down through this support. We just don't know right now. Okay, I am going to run a quick errand here inside the house. Make sure the dog is fed and everything is tucked away. I'm here by myself for the next few hours, so just want to make sure I've got all the hatches buttoned down. I'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll open the Zoom room. All right, it's got 8 seconds for 8 o'clock. Let's see what happens. There it is, 3 seconds ago. Not too much is going on, huh? All right, well, let me open the Zoom room. How about that? Okay. We have sat down to trade. Correction. We have sat down to look for trades. And we are still inside the box where we were when we started. That doesn't mean there hasn't been a trade here or there. There could have been, perhaps. Still a little tight for that for me inside the little chop box on the MetaTrader. Let's see. Right there. Inside that little box. But we do have a lot of downward pressure. We've got a lot of sell pressure. Downward, and I would say increasing sell pressure. right, what do we have here? We're sitting on our hands. We're just waiting for price to maybe break down a bit. We are sitting on some supports, so I'm not trusting, the first impulse down. All right, that's what I was showing you over here. Let me show you. We're right here where this blue bar is, right here. That's us. We're sitting right here. It's price. So it has hit that again and it has pushed off of it, but it's trying to come back down into it. But in order to push through that, it's going to need a little momentum. And to get below that one, let's see, below that zone is 46.72. So we got to get like 6 pips below that to even start thinking about getting back in. And then we have another resistance zone that starts at 46.69. So we've got, 3 pips that we can trade in there. It's looking a little dicey for us to think that the market's really going to give us anything tonight. I just don't think it will. But you never know what the night can bring. So we're just going to hang out. Let me know if the music is too loud. I'm going to bring it down just a touch. One moment here. Okay. Looks like price is trying to come down, push through this. There we go. Starting to show some gumption again to the downside. Getting rejected. Trying to come back down though. Getting rejected. Well, trying to push through about 46.74 here. I have it on there we go. Now we're on a spot price. 46.74 pushing down. Now, I'll admit that I'd like to be getting in here. We are breaking back down, through the bottom of our box. So in theory, we probably have a little ways to run. But the way price was moving, what we would call price action, just wasn't speaking to me. It was telling me to be cautious. Just hanging tight. Just hanging tight. Nothing to trade here. I mean, yeah, in theory we could have traded that, but would have been counter trending the market. We've just been, you know, we've been in this range, up and down in here, but it's been a bit choppy as well. So it's, you know, you just can't predict it. Not really interested in trading inside this range. This is where we've been since we sat down. Another, you know, failed break back into this range, but that failed. So now we're back into the range where we started. You know, right, I think, you know, what I need to do is I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, which I forgot to do. And I need to I was supposed to do something else here. Oh, I was going to open Truth Social because nothing messes you up. Apparently Trump was interviewed an hour ago on 60 Minutes. The overall question, though, you know, if we look at this on a 15-minute time frame, here we go. I pull this out, so we're looking at in fact, let me pull it back even further. Let's look at it on a 3-minute time frame. There we go. I didn't have that loaded anywhere else, so I had to generate that. So the question is, are we going to come down to here, which is last week's low, which also happens to be Friday's low, so our most recent day, the end of the New York session. So the question is, are we bouncing here? You know, this is a pretty significant level right here, the DM2 and the WM2. So are we bouncing here coming back, whoops, coming back up and basically staying in this range that we've, you know, been in. If we make this even smaller, now this is last week's high up here, so it's 48.29 to the low 46.60, something like that. Well, anyway, here we are. But now that we've looked at it a bit on the macro scale, we know, okay, we're either figuring out if we're going to drop down to here, which is, you know, 46.58. So we got 20 pips to go. Are we going to drop down to here? There is a pivot along the way. There's the DS1 sitting right here. So we could come down to the DS1 and turn around, but we could also, if we have a little momentum, push through that DS1 and punch into the last week's low before bouncing back up. Or we could be bottoming out now, just waiting for that 8:30 or that 9 o'clock momentum to start pushing us back up. I almost didn't sign on tonight. I sat down and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna trade. But I just don't feel social. So I don't think I'm gonna turn the camera on. I don't think I'm not gonna live stream tonight. But then as the time got closer and I realized I'd already set everything up, I had the analysis done. I had that posted on Facebook. I had it posted on the Discord. I had the pending broadcast, you know, upcoming on YouTube. So all I really needed to do was just click the button to broadcast and we were ready to go. So I felt pretty damn lazy and guilty for not wanting to do that. Yeah, this is the 5 minute that we're looking at right now, the 5 minute. And yeah, this is, I drew this rectangle around our zone right there, just to kind of keep track of where we were when we sat down. This stands for Sunday, Asia opening range. Here it is on the 1 minute chart. And this, yeah, this line right here, turquoise vertical line, is the 6 p.m. market open, 6 p.m. New York time market open. So you see when market opened, fell off a cliff, came all the way down here, bounced around here for a while, came down. You know, you could have said this was looking like it was going to be the opening range, but then boom, just before we sat down, price came down one measured move below where we were, and so that's our range right now. We're sitting below the WM2 and below the DM2, which are about the right at the same position. We had a bit of a failed breakout to the bottom, back up to the top. Now we're kind of flatlining here, but we're still within the range where we started. It's about about from 75 to 80, 81. It's a maximum. It's a 6 pip range. It's not impossible to make money in a 6 pip range, but there are setups that are easier and more certain. So can you do this? Yeah. Should you do it? Nah. The market pays you more easily. You just wait. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. My eyes itch. Ugh. That feels good. Oh boy. Yeah, we're getting a breakout to the upside now. Again, we're coming right up onto the WM2 and the DM2. So it's hard to take a trade, take a buy there. With those two strong pivots sitting right there. There's 8:30 right there that just ticked by. I'll be back again. Okay. How we doing? All right. Well, I see prices moved almost nothing, and so I went away. the dollar is pushing down. Gold is trying to push up, but again, we're right here at the WM2 and the DM2. See right here, if we look over here on the 1 minute chart, there's the WM2, the DM2, that's what these lines are right here. Seeing we've hit there once, twice, 3 times. This is the 4th time we're hitting it, trying to push up through it. Even if we do get up through it, it's not going to be an easy slog. We look over here on the 1 minute, we've got all of this red right here to get through. That's right there. It's shown here also as a resistance zone. So right now it looks easier to come down than go up, but even coming down, it's kind of in a consolidation zone here. It's just not, you know, there's just nothing happening here. Not making a lot of sense for us to get this upward pressure here suddenly. Pushing up through the resistance. Seems to have some momentum. Definitely pushed through that WM2, DM2 zone. We're at 86, 87 right now. Pushing up maybe to 46.93, which is the fixed value area low. It's a possibility. Nothing to trade here. If you've been in a buy, by my count, you've been lucky. But good job. Alright, so I did take one trade there. Forgot we were hanging out together. So let me put that on the stats. What did I take? 33 bucks on that. Better than a hot stick in the eye. At least make our first trade of the week a win. You know, you can see we're pretty far from our box. There's our box right there where we put price when we sat down. Look what we did there. We came out of that box like we were on fire. And we have what is now a successful breakout to the top. At the very least, we're probably going to be consolidating up here, if not continuing up. There it is on the 5-minute. And this is what the dollar has been doing. Look at that. Excuse me. We're gonna keep coming down. Kind of looking like yes. Right into the fixed value low though. But I think it's going to find its way through. Let's take one more sell. Not evolving quite the way we thought. We will get out if it allows us. There we go. Let's take that. It's about 50 bucks. But I don't like the way that that trade went. I won, but I don't like, you know, I didn't read the market correctly. At the time I got in, my entry was off. And so the trade went uncomfortably against me before it came back around and paid me. But it could have easily not come back around and paid me. So I got lucky. Yeah, it does look like it's wanting to kind of bounce back up here, but you know, it's not a predictable move for me. I mean, we are right here at the fixed value area low. That's what I will attribute price's behavior to right now. Kind of hits that, bounces around on it a little bit, and now we'll decide if it's going to continue on lower or if it's going to turn around and go back up. Usually, I'm done by this time of night. But market's not giving us anything. Mm. We're right at 4,700 right now. 4698, 4,700. Psychological level. It's being defended. We were able to push up to 4710 earlier, but got pushed back down. So the question is, does it have enough gas in the tank to push it back up to 710 and try to break through even higher? Or is the daily pivot here, which is at 4702, basically going to keep price below the daily pivot point? That's what the rest of this session is probably going to be about until 11 p.m. New York time. We're not going to be on that long. We're up $78 across all accounts. Our session nut is 150. But if the market's not giving it to us, that just is what it is. All right, YouTube. I think that is going to be all for us tonight. There's not much going on. I think that's just what we're going to go away, and we're going to be happy with what we got and call it a night. Come back here and be here at 7:30 in the morning. 7:45, let's make it. How about that? 7:45. And I'll get that going up on YouTube. In the meantime, we'll get out of here with our usual outro music. Have a good night. See you tomorrow at 7:45 a.m.